Hey there, everybody. So I got some more news of the day. I did one yesterday, and there was a few things I missed or I heard about later. So I thought I'd put them together because I had more things I saw today and make it all in one video. It's nice to see that there's some things to talk about again, even if it doesn't actually happen that there's an early June draft or they don't end up finishing the season. At least right now, there's some things to talk about how they might do it and blah, blah, blah. And it makes it a little bit more interesting, at least for me as the hockey channel, right? So we've got some news of different kinds, and we'll go over it right now. There is Tomas Plekanec. Now, I saw this article about Tomas Plekanec wanting to coach, and before I wrote this, actually, I think that's what kicked off me wanting to do this video. And then when I read the article, kind of after I had put together a bunch of items I was going to research to put in the video, I realized it wasn't for pretty quickly because I had put my headline as might be added to the Habs coaching staff. But what it turns out to be, and it's a little bit interesting, is Plekanec is interested in coaching. He is still playing for the Czech Republic national team, and he wants to play for another couple of seasons, and then he's going to take some courses for coaching. What was interesting, though, that made it worth putting this into the video is a comment that he made in an interview. Now, this is translated, but it's I'm sure it's very close to what he said exactly. So he plans to take coaching courses in the Czech Republic after retiring fully in 2 to 3 years, and maybe one day coaching here in Montreal. As a coach, this is a quote from him, as a coach, I will certainly not be in the same style as Michel Therrien. I will be a mix of Jacques Martin and Claude Julien, he said in this interview. And it makes you kind of wonder, why would he say that? So I guess they didn't get along. Michel Therrien was a bit of a hard ass, if you want to say. He kind of put pressure on guys, and that's how he would get them to play better, is a high-pressure system. But it doesn't last long. His time at any city doesn't usually last long because that wears out real quickly. And I don't think the players like it or like the coach. And it's kind of, maybe that's the reason why he was fired the way he was in mid-season when he was still, I think they were first in the Atlantic Division, and they fired him. So there was probably a reason behind it like this, that the Bergevin probably saw that he was going to lose the room, and he fired him before he could completely lose the room. That's what I think might have happened. But anyways, I thought that was an interesting quote, because I personally wasn't a Therrien guy, but there's still a lot of people who would rather have Therrien here still over Claude Julien. But the kind of coach that Therrien was, where he was that type of hard-ass pressure on the guys, always pushing them kind of guy, they don't last for years and years like that. He would have probably been gone by now anyway. All right. Next item up for bids on The Price is Right is Charles Hudon. Is Charles Hudon KHL bound? Hudon will be an RFA at the end of this season, whenever it does finally finish. And I don't know that there is a spot for him, especially if the season doesn't continue at all and he doesn't get an opportunity to show Montreal, hey, I can make it here in whatever games are remaining. Then they're making a judgment on him based on what they've already seen up to now. I don't know that they're going to keep him around and sign him to at least not much of a contract. Again, probably league minimum if they sign him, if he wants to stay here. But he'd probably do a lot better in the KHL. Let me see what I wrote here, if it makes any sense. He's got the kind of talent that, in the AHL, he's kind of a star. He's usually a league leader. He gets a lot of points. He shows his talent. He comes up here to Montreal anyway, and it does not translate here. So the KHL is not as good as the NHL, and maybe Hudon goes over there and his game translates there a lot better. So I don't know, but I think he might be KHL bound. Kind of makes sense to me. I don't know if Montreal will hang on to him. We've got a lot of choices, a lot of young guys coming up that they might need to put on the roster. Might not be a spot for him. Next up, how did I write this? Anthony Mantha, Offersheet. It's funny because I did a video just a few days ago about targets, off-season targets for Montreal to go after, UFAs and trades. And one of the trades was Anthony Mantha packaged together with Justin Abdelkader, get it out, get that name out, who has a pretty bad contract. He's making 4-point-something million, and he produces nothing. And they can't. What do you do with it? It's still 3 years to go, I think, after this season. So you buy him out, and you still have that cap hit. And this coming off season, Detroit has a lot of these RFAs and UFAs to sign. And Mantha is also an RFA at the end of the season. He was making $3.3 million, so Mantha's not going to come cheap. That's fine. Does Detroit, are they going to be able to sign him? And they might be getting one of the first 2 picks, it looks like guaranteed for the draft, and they'll get a good player there. So they might be able to let Mantha go to get rid of Abdelkader, and by taking Abdelkader, you're obviously not going to have to pay a ton to get an Anthony Mantha, because maybe I heard people telling me Romanov and guys like that. But no, if you're going to take Justin Abdelkader off their hands, that's like giving them a good player. So your other player you have to give up is maybe a couple of draft picks, maybe another prospect, maybe like a Josh Brook or a Jake Evans, which is fine. And you get a guy like Anthony Mantha, I think, who will do fantastic here. He's a big guy. He's got offense, and he just will make a good. He's from Quebec. It'll make a good addition here in Montreal. He's that up front. I don't know. I won't say elite scoring, but he's that. That's a step up in scoring that Montreal's been looking for to add. And if they can do that here, it might be worth the price that you got to pay. Next up, by the way, that was it was a story by reporter of TVA, Jean-Charles Lajoie. So it wasn't in anything a rumor by Montreal, but he was putting out the suggestion. So, and it's just a few days, right around the same time. Now I don't read TVA's reporting, so I don't know. We both had the idea at the same time, but he's going Offersheet. I think you go with a trade, but hey, you never know. Next up. May 2nd, 1967. Toronto Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup. Their last Stanley Cup they ever won 53 years ago. Just saying. Just like saying it. Next up after that. Sorry, Leafs fans. Listen, I'm really sorry about that. I respect you guys as Leafs fans. I really do. But that really felt good to say that. That's all. Okay, next up. When will Alex Romanov sign his ELC? What did I write here? When will Romanov sign his ELC? That's pretty much what I wrote. A little bit more here, but I read it differently. Okay, enough craziness. I said this, I did a video again a couple of weeks ago about Alex Romanov being, his agent basically saying for sure he's coming to Montreal. It's just a case of when he'll be able to sign. So I didn't delve any more into that. I didn't know until there was something I read today that sort of is that twist that I didn't know about. So here's what the twist is. So it's not clear whether Romanov will be allowed to play. And I don't know why, and it didn't say why in the article, so I still don't know why. But it's not clear if he'll be able to play if the 2019-20 season resumes. And they've signed him. The season starts. It's not clear. There's a reason, and I imagine it's something to do with the KHL and him being just finishing up his contract. I don't know. I think that's what it has to do with, but I don't know the reason why exactly. So they don't know if he'll be able to play. And if they sign him and he can't play, he still burns that 1 year of the ELC, which isn't it's not a huge problem. It doesn't make him a UFA any earlier, but it burns a year that you have him under control and at a really good price. So you don't want to do that for nothing. So that's why we're waiting for them to sign. I do expect there'll be some news soon from the NHL about when or whether or yes or no, or whatever's going to happen. First with the draft, but I think if they make the announcement, yes, the draft is going to be June 5th and whatever, as the proposal was, that kind of signifies that they're going to be having a season happen. So we're still waiting for all these official word. And when that comes out, well, then we'll find out whether they're able to sign Romanov or not. And if they do sign him, he definitely wants to come here and play. So that's where it stands. So yes, we may have Alex Romanov playing for Montreal if the season resumes. It's a possibility. And if not, it'll be next season. And that's by his agent. So it's not a rumor. It's not a... His agent flat out said Alex Romanov was coming to sign a contract. Now, last item is... By the way, anyone else want a little clock? It's a USB. Plug that into a USB. And this is what I can't figure out is how the hell this thing knows what the time is. It's plugged into a USB charger into a... That's it. I don't know how it knows the right time, but that is actually the right time. And there's nowhere you just turn it on. I don't know. One of those mysteries of the world. Is anyone happy with the NHL's draft proposal? I did put the draft proposal in the video yesterday, News of the Day. And it was brand new, and I hadn't really heard very much about how people were reacting to it. But since then, all over Twitter and all commentators and all that are... I don't know that I've heard anybody like it. I don't know how. I don't think I've heard anybody say anything that, yes, we like this. Will that be a possibility? Let me actually read what I wrote here. I think I bypassed one. I'm going to get to that last. Yeah. Well, there. That's because I bypassed one. Okay. So, will anybody be happy with it? No, not too many. Detroit and Ottawa should be. But Steve Yzerman actually said he didn't really like it. But they should be because with that proposal, they don't draft worse than second. And Ottawa ends up with third and fourth, if not winning and going up one of them going up higher. So they could be first and fourth, first and third. I imagine it would be first and fourth. Okay, so Detroit and Ottawa should be. And any of the top 6 teams, should they win the lottery, could be happy with it. So anybody that's in 6 to like 1 through 6, well, 1 they already got 1. They need to win it to make sure they keep 1. But like 6 could move up to second place, which is you get Byfield. 5th could move up to first place. So any of those teams that are really right in tight there, I don't imagine they're not happy, but I think everybody else seems to be not happy with this. They're just not happy with it, and I don't know if this, just in the essence of what they have to do, and one thing I don't understand is why they can't, like say they get the playoffs in, and it ends in September, why can't, and they're only going to start in December, why don't they use those few months to do what they normally do after a season? I don't get this. So I don't know why the draft has to happen in July, because that seems to be what they're pushing, that it has to happen, in June. Anyway. Just in its essence, I don't think this is going to be, it can't be perfect. It can't be that everybody's going to like it. There's going to be something in what they're going to do that some teams are not going to like. There might be a couple things they like. But in general, nobody's going to be happy with it. That's GMs, owners, and us fans. I don't think we're going to be happy with it no matter what. It's not going to seem fair. Some team is going to really feel like they really lost, and that's the way it is. But I don't know that in this case that you can really do anything different. So yeah, they'll work out something probably better. Don't forget, this is the proposal, is the first, it's like a proposition they're negotiating. So there's something better, I think, than that proposal will come out, but I still don't think it's something that's going to satisfy everybody. Okay, so I'm babbling on too much about that, and I got one more thing to talk about, and that is, where did I put that one? Right here. Okay, now I can talk about it. And there's this guy. This came out yesterday after I did the News of the Day, and that's Mikko Lehtonen, who's a left defenseman out of the KHL, but the Jokerit team in Helsinki, so he's a Finnish player. He's 26 years old. Let's see what I got there on the board. He's 26 years old, a left defenseman. He's 5'11", 196, so he's not big and he's not small exactly. But 5'11" is fine. In 2019-20 with Jokerit in the KHL, he played 60 games. He got 17 goals, 32 assists for 49 points. Was the leading scoring defenseman in the KHL, and number 6 overall in scoring in the KHL. So this guy's got, that's at least something. He might be, if Montreal's rumored to be after him, along with other teams. So his first contract in Montreal and the NHL won't be a huge number. If Montreal can land him, this guy could be the answer to that left defense spot that we need filled with a top 4 defenseman. Because at his age, obviously the guy's talented. he can step right in and not have to worry about developing. He's developed in the KHL. So he'll either come in here and be a bust, or he'll come in here and he'll play well because he's already developed. So I think it's well worth going after. You get a guy like that for $4 million, somewhere around $4 million. First contract might be only 4 years, 5 years, but this guy could really fit in well here with the Finnish players we have, and he solves the problem. He's a talented guy, and I think Montreal should go hard after a guy like that, like really hard after him. So maybe, you never know, we might be announcing that we got a new defenseman. That would really be nice, and we wouldn't have to try to trade for one or find one as a free agent. It's just not there, and that would solve the problem. So there you go. It's ran a little too long. Didn't expect this video to be this long. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate that. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know what you think about any of this, especially about Lehtonen, and what you think about the draft proposal, because I think nobody will like it. What you think about me gloating over the fact that the Leafs haven't won in 53 years. Yeah, so, and the offer sheet, although I'd like to trade better, but the offer sheet maybe for Mantha, which isn't official, just somebody, a writer, writing about it, kind of like me putting it in my video. But let me know what you think about that. And yeah, that's it. And while you're all down there to do all that, subscribe and ring the notifications if you haven't already. And if you are happen to be interested in the memberships, I got memberships. I'm about to film. Next video I'm filming is exclusively for members only, and so if you're interested in that, check that out, and then you can watch that video, and I really appreciate that. It helps support the channel, and it's kind of important. You know, what can you do? And last but not least, if you're still watching, just want to say it's really sad that Justin from Hands Down Hockey called it quits yesterday. He decided he can't do hockey on YouTube anymore with everything that's going on. He's burnt out, but he's doing a gaming thing, which makes a lot of sense. He loves gaming, and it frees up a lot of time for him. It makes a lot of sense. So just sad that we lost Hands Down Hockey. I got a lot of ideas watching his videos, and you know, I like the guy. Good, knew what he was talking about, and I thought brought it across really well. So it's really sad in this niche to lose somebody like that. So best of luck, Justin, in your gaming channel. Check him out if you're into gaming. Hands Down Gaming, I think it's going to be called. Okay, so I talked long enough. Thanks for watching. Peace out, everybody. See you next video. Please stay safe. Wash your hands. Mask. Stay home. All that stuff I always say. Please do that, and see you next video. That way we'll be able to.